Hey guys, so this is The Pure Ones by Danielle Harrington. It is the third book of the Hollis Timewire series, and this is the book review and summary. So in the beginning, we find out that there are other people with abilities and they've been hiding out. We kind of see how intricate their society is, and it goes a lot deeper than what we've originally thought due to the previous books and the people that we've met. We meet a character named Arthur, who he's the leader of these people. And right off the bat, I did get like President Coin vibes from him. President Coin being from the Hunger Games. I'll kind of get into the specifics as to why later on in this review. So Hollis has a power struggle with Arthur, mainly over the idea of whether they should be assassinating the president or not. Arthur believes that the only way society can move forward is if the president is dead, whereas Hollis believes that in doing that, they would actually be proving to the rest of the people that the quote unquote diseased ones are exactly what they are thought to be. When it comes to the assassination, I was actually anti assassination. I believe that Hollis was right in believing that if they were to kill the president, they would just be proving the misconceptions about them correct, and they wouldn't really be able to grow from the stereotypes that society had placed upon them. So throughout this book, we actually end up seeing that Hollis is kind of falling into her power. She's able to really understand how it works. She's able to start communicating with the power because it actually ends up being a guardian type character that is actively talking to her and trying to guide her through the situations that are unfolding. As the story progresses, we see more and more of this power. Namely, in the fourth book, we get to see a lot of how this power works, how deeply it goes, how powerful it actually is. I do believe that Hollis learns very quickly, which can be a good and bad thing. I think it made it to where obviously she was able to combat her foes a lot easier, but I think I would have also really liked seeing her struggle a little bit more once the going gets tough, but we'll get into that. So Hollis also decides that she wants to go see her mom, believing that her mom is going to be the key in kind of starting to help the people realize that they're not evil. Through that, though, she actually finds out that her dad is the president, and who she believed was her father is not her father at all. So during a festival, it actually ends up being broadcasted that her mom is brutally killed as bait, which, even knowing that it was bait, Hollis, Ashton, and Olivia actually go to fight the president after being given a sedative by Arthur, because Hollis was still very much not wanting to kill the president, but she knew that she needed to get him back to the compound so that Maddie could use the golden light and get rid of his powers. So the three of them end up going, but Ashton and Olivia get very hurt very quickly. And so Hollis forces them to go back, which I think is really telling. Hollis does this a lot where she will sacrifice herself if it means that her friends get out safely. So it ends up being a really long battle, but in the end, she does end up getting the upper hand. And right as she's getting ready to sedate the president, surprise, surprise, she was betrayed, and what she believed was a sedative is actually poison. So she ends up assassinating the president and kind of doing what she didn't want to do. This kind of leaves her, feeling very betrayed, very, very hurt, because she knows that she didn't want to do it, and now she's the one that had to do it. So like I said earlier, I immediately got the vibes that Arthur reminded me of President Coin. For those who aren't aware of the Hunger Games, I would say spoiler alert, but that book and movie has been out for many, many years. But basically, both characters believed that the future can only be met if they get justice and revenge against those who have wronged them, as opposed to being necessarily the bigger person. And so we end up finding out that Arthur is capable of betraying, and then that kind of really plays a role into how the fourth book is going to carry out. Okay, so overall, we've got some pros when it comes to this book. Hollis really steps into her powers. She really starts to understand her abilities, and she really starts to understand the responsibility of what she is capable of doing. One of my favorite aspects of the series as a whole really is her and Keith's relationship. I think it's very sweet without it being unrealistic because they still have their moments of contention. One really interesting aspect of this book was Ben's PTSD from the events of the second book. I thought that that was really fitting, but a nice touch also was Candace, despite being there for him, wanting to be a nice girlfriend, like she still shows her limits of wanting to be there, but also wanting to move on from it. And I thought that was really realistic. So, some things that I wouldn't necessarily say bugged me, but definitely didn't do it for me either is the fact that I saw Arthur's betrayal coming from a mile away. I think that it would have been really unlikely for Hollis to meet two different groups of people with abilities and have them both be like the good guys, if that makes sense. I think it shows the two different schools of thought in terms of these people have wronged us and we want to do better, and these people have wronged us and I want to get back at them. And also, like, Arthur having like a right hand man like Terrace was really not great because no need for that power if you're like keeping it honest and fair with everyone. Overall, out of 5 stars, I would say that I would give it 4. I really enjoyed this book and I was looking forward to reading the last one. As always, guys, thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. Wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you have a good one. See you next time.